Okay, so what I want to talk about today in Sports Blab is going to be a sensitive topic. It is related to the George Floyd protests and situation that's going on literally worldwide. I live in a suburb of Minneapolis, and as you know, Minneapolis is ground zero. But I want to connect to what's going on here in Minneapolis and around the world. As the announcer said, the George Floyd situation and protests have shook the world. And sports has not been spared that shaking of the trees, if you will, for equality. So that's what I'm going to talk about. I want to emphasize is strictly what I say is my own opinion. All opinions are valid. I'm just giving you my 2 cents worth. And I recognize up front the sensitive nature of the topic of race, equality, sports, and what's going on in the world today due to the George Floyd situation. So anyways, here we go. I find it interesting that the NFL, with everything going on, has reversed itself from its prior stance on the kneeling and the flag situation, and has said that we made a mistake, we were wrong, we should have listened to the black players, the black community, to those other voices before. We're wrong, we're sorry, we didn't. And when I hear that, given the timing of when they're saying it, I do doubt to some degree their sincerity. Is it a case of, because of what's going on, it's good PR to come out and say we were wrong? Is it good for business to do that? Or are they sincere? I don't have any way of knowing the complete sincerity. All I know is before they said, and I'm going to mention one name in particular, of course, and you know it's coming, Colin Kapernick. Before he was like a black sheep thrown aside, and let's be honest, he's been blackballed. There's no other way to say it, blackballed. That is why he is not playing in the NFL today. It does not have to do with ability. It's the taking of the knee and the protest. And it's very clear. The owners before they say they didn't collude, but you know, it seems like they are colluding. They're saying this guy is bad for business. We're getting so much blowback from our customers, season ticket holders. We're not going to buy your tickets. We're not going to go to your games. We're not going to watch on TV. We're not going to buy from your sponsors. So Colin Kaepernick is bad for business. And the NFL said, hey, man, you're dissing the flag. You got to kneel. You're dissing the military, that kind of thing. Well, no, they're not. And I've never believed they were. And here's why. Because Colin Kaepernick and the other players that took knees very clearly at that time said, we are not dissing the military. We are not dissing the flag. We are trying to raise an issue about equality and young black men and police today. And this is our way of getting attention to this issue. And it's just sad that it's taken a George Floyd incident for people to actually listen to what they actually said back in 2017 type of thing. Nope, we got to make a note here. Hang on. Thank you. Okay, so I don't forget something I want to say. So is the NFL listening now? Well, here's the thing. You know, they're committing $250 million, and I think that's all and great. But like I said, I have that deep suspicion that is it just a PR maneuver? I want to see more going down the road. I want to see the blackballing of Colin Kaepernick come to an end. Now, Pete Carroll of the Seahawks said we brought him in last summer for a workout. We chose not to sign him simply because we feel he's a first starter, or, first string starter, starting quarterback. He's not a backup, and we have Russell Wilson. So on our team, he'd be a backup. It's unfair to him. He has indicated another team has shown interest in his bringing him in. And I know the NFL did a big thing last spring. We're going to have a tryout for Colin Kaepernick. We're doing the right thing. And the two sides couldn't agree on some legality of the contract. And Kaepernick did his workout and nobody pursued it further type of thing. So I'm curious to see what happens with his ability to play in the NFL going forward, if the blackballing will end type of thing. So it's sort of like, do you hear me now? You know, with all that's going on, he's been saying this message for 3 years kind of thing. It's only after these riots and looting and protests and people just getting mad that people are listening to him more. So in that vein, a sports writer, and I don't remember the person's name, and I apologize, came out and wrote an article and said, hey, the Vikings, since this is going on in Minneapolis, it's ground zero, the Vikings should bring him in, sign him, let him compete for a quarterback job, but really work with him to build the ties with the community. And that's very noble in his thoughts, but I don't think it will work because, well, a couple of things. One, it feels more like you're just bringing him into the Vikings for community relations, which isn't a bad thing in and of itself. The Vikings, I feel, have been very proactive in the community type of thing. But it's under the guise of let's let him try out for a quarterback job. Well, we got Kirk Cousins. They've got him signed to big money guaranteed, and I believe that's who they're going forward with. So it seems like kind of a sham to bring him in when really you're bringing him in for the community activist aspect. So just bring him in for that. Don't worry about the sports part. And if Kaepernick doesn't want to, that's fine. I think he wants to play in the NFL, and he deserves to play in the NFL. And he is a starting quarterback. And I know the critics will say, oh, look at 2016 with the 49ers. He had such a so-so year. Really? Just go look at the stats. He was with a team that was, 2-14, 3-13, a totally losing team, bottom of the barrel, bottom of the league. Just look at his numbers. They're pretty impressive type of thing. Are they going to be the same numbers as with a Super Bowl caliber team that the 49ers are now? No, because the whole team sucked at that point. But his numbers in that environment were impressive type of thing. Anyway, so that's, I want to address a little bit more about the whole idea that kneeling during the national anthem is a diss to the military or a diss to the flag. I know perception is reality. Let's be honest. Perception is reality. When someone kneels and someone says, hey, man, they just dissed my grandfather. And I'm thinking Drew Brees here currently, who came out and said, hey, man, I don't want to see this knee stuff. It's just a diss to my grandfather who served in the military. Again, I'll say, no, they're not, because they came out in 2017 and told you why they're kneeling. And my dad was in the military. My uncles were in the military. I've got friends in the military type of thing. My uncle Frank flew in the Bloody 100th and the Mighty 8th. He was a B-17 bomber pilot, a captain over World War II. He had PTSD after the war, never stepped on a plane. The only time actually he ever did is they're going to have a reunion in like the mid-70s. And he got on the plane here in Minneapolis for about 8 minutes and told them, I can't do it. I ain't going on this. And he got off. And the reunion was in Texas. So my dad, for sure, who died like 5-6 years ago at age almost 90, I can tell you categorically he would not view Colin Kapernick or those players as dissing the military. He would say, wow, the fact that they're trying to create a better America and raise an issue in the best way they know how, cool. Not a diss to the military. The other thing is these owners are so afraid of Kaepernick. You know what? What if you worked with him more? If you brought him in, he plays football, bring him in for his football ability. Make sure you're doing that. But you know he's got a lot to say. Why not create a forum? Maybe a town hall meeting. Maybe a TV broadcast, a show, something after the game, or who knows what. Be creative. We're creative here in America. Be creative type of thing. So getting on to Drew Brees here. One final thought. When he came out and said that, I'm like, oh boy, here we go. And then his teammates set him straight. And I'm pretty sure they didn't use fluffy, warm, fuzzy language over a hot chocolate. They pretty well laid into him, and they said as much. We let him have it. You saw the tweets and the videos and the YouTubes and the whatever. Malcolm Jenkins, he's like, dude, you're on the wrong side of the fence here. And Brees came out and reversed himself. And again, my initial thought was, is it just a PR thing? Because you know how it is when you're taking a pounding, you say something, you do something. Everybody around you is just pummeling you to a pulp. You're like, okay, I'm wrong. And so you wonder if is that person sincere, or they're just trying to avoid the pounding kind of thing. Well, in Drew Brees' case, I believe he's sincere in his reversal. And by reversal, I mean he doesn't want to see the military dissed and disrespected. And he did view kneeling that way. But his teammates got through to him and let him know they're not dissing the flag of the military or your grandfather. They're raising an issue about race in America today. I mean, we got to come together somehow. And again, it's sad that the George Floyd thing, it's sad that it takes this kind of event, this kind of situation before we change minds or open our minds or the NFL does something type of thing. And I hope to God that they're sincere and not just a PR stunt to keep people watching the games and coming. I think you'll get far more ahead being truthfully honest, like the players who are speaking out, the Malcolm Jenkins, the Richard Shermans, letting people know, man, come on, get with the program here. Get into the 21st century. Anyways, that's just my 2 cents worth. Everybody's got an opinion, and we should be talking more, communicating more, and listening to people more than anything right now. Over and out, Sports Blab.